Mercedes has big plans for an upgrade at the Austin race, and it looks like they might have figured out why their car isn't performing as well as they hoped. But here's the twist: a lot of other teams are also rolling out their own upgrades, with Mercedes' recent improvements not really closing the gap to McLaren. The big question is whether these new changes will actually make a difference. Can Mercedes step up and make a strong push in the final part of the season? The Singapore race was a tough one for Mercedes. Their W15 car was almost a second slower per lap compared to McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari. Plus, compared to last year, the W15 hasn't really gained any speed against the leading McLaren team. George Russell had an alright weekend, starting in 4th place and finishing ahead of both Ferraris, but it wasn't the standout performance fans were hoping for. Hamilton had another rough weekend, even though it wasn't his fault. He managed to qualify better than Russell and started the race in P3. However, the team made a risky strategy call that backfired. They decided to fit Hamilton's car with soft compound tyres, hoping he could gain positions quickly. Unfortunately, this plan didn't work out, as these tyres aren't suitable for the Marina Bay circuit. After the race, both drivers were frustrated, especially Hamilton, who questioned the team's strategy decisions. He expressed his mixed emotions and acknowledged that while everyone aims to make the right choices, it doesn't always go as planned. Given their poor performance in Singapore, it's clear that Mercedes is no longer in contention for a top 3 spot in the Constructors' Championship this season. The season isn't over for the team just yet. They're bringing a big aerodynamic upgrade to the Austin race, where almost every team is also planning to unveil improvements. However, Mercedes is facing various issues with their W15 car. It's acting unpredictably, especially when the track temperature changes by just a few degrees or when switching between different tyre compounds during the same race. These problems seem very specific, and it's uncertain whether Mercedes can solve most of them in just one weekend. Toto Wolff has mentioned that the car struggles on tracks with high traction demands and varying track temperatures affecting tyre performance. Mercedes has been somewhat transparent about their difficulties, so if we take Wolff's comments seriously, it could mean one of two things. Either Mercedes will be extremely competitive in Austin, potentially challenging for a podium or even a race win, or they might make a noticeable improvement that helps them compete better with the rest of the field. Discussing the latest issues that have emerged over recent race weekends and their plans to address them, Wolff said that they are having a tough time on hot, traction-demanding tracks like Austin and Baku. This isn't an excuse, he said. It's hard for us to accept, but we need to find a way to get better. We're now gearing up for Austin, where a crucial update is on the way, hopefully giving us a boost. The United States Grand Prix is a key event for both the Silver Arrows and Dakar. The latest upgrades are particularly important because they will significantly impact the team's 2025 car development. After facing a major setback with our floor updates in Belgium, Mercedes is taking a more cautious and calculated approach this time. According to Formula Eno, the floor design tested at Spa had a big influence on the upcoming upgrades for the Austin GP. Back in Belgium, Mercedes rolled out a floor that clearly drew inspiration from Red Bull. While this design managed to generate more downforce, the car couldn't consistently handle the extra load. Insider data suggests that the car's mechanical setup wasn't at fault for these issues. Instead, the problem lay with the airflow, especially its distribution through the Venturi tunnels and to the diffuser. With these insights in their databanks, Mercedes has crafted a third version of their underfloor set to debut in Austin. This new floor aims to increase downforce and help address the car's rear tyre overheating issues. Additionally, Mercedes has revamped the suspension wishbones to enhance aerodynamics in tandem with the new underfloor design, ensuring a seamless flow between the top and bottom aerodynamics of the car. Back at their Brackley base, a new front wing is also in the pipeline. While this wing doesn't involve any flexing, it's designed to give engineers greater control over the car's balance, helping to tackle the understeer and oversteer problems seen on George Russell's car at the Marina Bay circuit. James Allison discussed the team's latest upgrades in a recent video. The technical director said that the improvements for the Austin GP will mainly address the W15's weaknesses, aiming to boost performance by making the car easier to drive. He mentioned that these Austin upgrades are part of a bigger package that the team is diligently working on. We're focusing on solving the issues we faced this weekend, especially figuring out how to manage the tyres better on hot circuits. Plus, we're working hard to finalise our last upgrade of the season, Allison explained. We've got a significant set of new features coming for the car in Austin, and we hope they will help us have a strong weekend. We need to accomplish all that while preparing for the final races of the year. Additionally, Mercedes is also focused on improving the cockpit of the W15, particularly its ventilation. Toto Wolff explained that both Russell and Hamilton experienced heat strokes during the Singapore race due to extreme temperatures. With even hotter races like Qatar on the horizon, the team needs to find ways to make the drivers more comfortable. As we look ahead to 2025, questions are beginning to arise. Andrew Shovlin has provided some insight, mentioning that the team is currently figuring out which parts of the car to keep the same and which to upgrade for the new season. He noted that decisions on whether to keep elements like the chassis or the gearbox are still pending, acknowledging that it's unlikely they'll be able to change everything. We're currently in a phase where we're trying to figure out the best bang for our buck within the budget limits. Aerodynamically, our car and most other teams' cars will likely be a refined version of what we have now. There will be some major changes, but we don't want to overhaul the whole design, as that would mean a lot of time in the wind tunnel to fix it. Upgrading the car is one thing, making sure those upgrades actually work is another task in today's Formula One scene. So what do you all think? Can Mercedes catch up to McLaren with their new upgrades in Austin? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.